He needs to hold drops. Drops are very easy to do along the edges of the map if you're up against an aggressive player. The most aggressive player in the tournament thus far has been shown to be DDE, but Kiwikaki looks completely cold in his defense, no problem at all, smooth as ice. Cold as ice, I think is what I wanted to do.
Well, I think ice is pretty smooth.
Smooth as ice. Starting the game, the good luck, have fun has gone down. It's time for Tal'Darim Altar, JP.
Wasn't that a song like Smooth as Ice, Willing to Sacrifice or something?
You know, we can Google it after this match series.
Oh, that was Cold as Ice.
Cold as Ice. We just got word from our producer, and he said, cold as ice.
He's singing the song right now to us in our ears. Let's see where these players are going to spawn. We have Sixjax DDE as the blue Terran spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner. His opponent all the way across the map is going to be Kiwikaki from Rain spawning as the yellow Protoss.
Rain picking up two of those notable players from Root, Slush and Kiwikaki. As you mentioned before, been training hardcore, and in these long distances, I actually think that Kiwikaki is going to be a significant favorite here because Kiwikaki's great at these long-term management games, making sure he gets all his upgrades, making sure he is putting his army in the right spots. But DDE, on the other hand, we've seen likes hyper-aggressiveness. He likes pushing, he likes attacking, but anytime he's in awkward cross-map spots, he cannot quite get that momentum going.
I almost feel like last game we didn't see the aggressive DDE. There was for a little bit of a time when he got his high yield up that he started playing incredibly passive. We saw a huge attack where he utterly destroyed Kiwikaki's big army, but I think there was like 3,000 gateways or something because immediately Kiwikaki had such a huge amount of zealots that he was able to take that out. But the reason that Kiwikaki was able to get so many bases up is because of this passivity that DDE was kind of playing to last game.
I mean, Kiwikaki, though, does do phenomenally well against aggressive players. It's very funny to see, you know, Kiwikaki play against someone like Select, who's known for hyper-aggression, and Kiwikaki just swats his drops away like little flies. Makes it look very, very easy, even though Select, as we saw against TT1, can be vicious with those medevacs. DDE, interestingly, going gas before barracks, so we will be seeing a fast factory out of DDE.
There is that annoying little probe that Protoss players can send out here. It did try ahead and scout at the 2 o'clock position, but did not find anything, so he's found his opponent. The racks will be finishing here in just a couple of seconds. Go back over into Kiwikaki's base. He's just doing the norm. He does have a pylon over here on the far side, very close to the outer rim of his base. I wonder if he's going to use some tech structures or just some more gateways to actually wall this off, because you were talking about the fact that he does like denying pathways for those Blue Flame Hellions to get into.
And most importantly of all, those drops can now be spotted along this top rim. Kiwikaki already planning ahead, even though we are at the 3-minute and 33-second mark. Make a wish. You also see that those probes are continuing to produce, but no Chrono Boost being spent on them right now. Looks like he will be saving that up for the first Stalker.
See a reactor onto that Rex.
Wow.
Going to be seeing some Hellions here. Coming from that factory. And what is going to be the follow-up? I would assume probably a command center here pretty soon. But of course he does have to make at least 2 Hellions there. Will he be, you think he'll be adding on 2 more and going for a 4 Hellion little attack? Or I think he's going to go with 2, Sean?
Well, DDE realizes that his Terran vs. Zerg's been working out well, so let's just do some builds from that matchup. See the Hellions coming out. There's the Tech Lab plopping down. Would not be surprised to see him immediately swap back, as he could go directly into that tank-marine mixture we saw him do last game. But we are going to see more Hellions plop out for DDE, who again really looks like he wants to maintain that aggressive edge that he didn't exploit in the last game.
Kiwikaki going for that 1 gateway robo play that we saw last game. Going to be seeing an expansion here pretty soon like we saw from him as well. Maybe a 2nd gateway, as there it comes actually. And the 2 Hellions are now at the Zelnaga Tower. 2 more should be popping out here in just a couple seconds. There is a probe once again. We saw this last game from Kiwikaki. A little bit of a delayed probe scout over off to the side. He did in fact see those Hellions. They should expect them coming into the base any moment now.
Interestingly, DDE now making Hellions 5 and 6. No expansion has been planted yet, but now we're finally seeing one go down. This is very wild to see this happen quite so early in the game, and it looks like the expansion attempt does not... Oh, and he marches right into the main. And wow, there was nothing that he could really do about that except for the building wall off. And Kiwikaki, so far so good, but there's a nice shot. DDE, he needs to just line him up.
Oh no, the force field is working against him, Sean. He's getting so many probe kills.
Oh no, we've never seen this. The probes are attacking their own assimilator. It is total chaos. The probes becoming distrustful of DDE.
14 probes were just killed. 2 more Hellions coming back in. They want some more probe kills. They will just go ahead and take a shot at that Stalker and the Sentry.
Yeah,
Hellions look like they will be falling back, but man, that was a great attack there from DDE. I love the fact that the force field started out good, started out like a smart idea from Kiwi, and then DDE used it against them.
That poor set of probes. They were just mashing their face up an invisible wall in front of them, while there was flamethrowers being lit from behind them.
Never fun, Sean.
I know, they're looking at each other with the disappointed joining donk. That's the noise that a probe makes in StarCraft 1. You may not have heard that unless you're 25. So we do see that the orbital command is popping down for DDE at his natural expansion, and we interestingly see a second factory en route, a starport as well. DDE may follow this up with a standard mech mix, but most importantly, allow himself more room to do those Hellion drops.
Now, while we're kind of letting this game unfold a little bit and seeing what exactly both players are doing, a player like TLO sometimes incorporates Ghost into his style of play very early and utilizes those EMPs. What are your thoughts on that style of play, Sean?
Well, Dario mainly does that so he can get a fast nuke, maximizing the amount of fans he gains in each individual game. Should just sort of drift up in number. At this point, Protoss is spread thin just between 2 bases. We don't really see that much of any unit production out of Kiwikaki. He is getting the Immortal up, but the most significant fear for DDE is once tanks plant at this money spot behind the back door, Kiwikaki will almost certainly lose his expansion if those tanks siege.
That is something that almost every Terran player will do in almost any matchup because it is so easy to set up shop right there on your opponent's edge. Take out a couple of mineral patches from being mined from, as well as that Vespene geyser that does exist there on the edge. If you look in the center of the map, the 2 Hellions are giving DDE map control and map awareness right now as he scans. And did he take out that observer?
I'm not actually convinced that he did. He did shoot his own factory, and no, he actually just took the chance to shoot one of his own buildings there, the factory, taking a few hits from the Marines. Huh. He scanned, tweaked out, thought he... There was nothing there. I can't say the phrase, thought he thought. Damn it.
That's alright. I can't say Infernal Pre-Igniter, and it is actually finished as we see a 4 Hellion drop sneaking its way across the map. Is that another command center? Yes, it is indeed at the natural. So he's going to be taking his 3rd very soon as these 5 Marines set up a firing line onto those destructible rocks.
We do see the reactor starport going down. Looks like he is intending on doing a little bit of Viking production more often than not. Viking's an essential component to being able to manage these this mech style of play with all the Colossus that can crop up and ruin your day. But this drop might be quite surprisingly effective for DDE, as it doesn't even look like Kiwikaki has spotted it yet.
Oh no, Sean, there is also a robotics bay. He will be able to scout that, and here we go. He does have 2 Hellions bait the units in the front. The Hellions are landing in the back. Kiwikaki does not see it yet, but now he does, Sean. Here we go!
Oh my god, the probes taking massive hits. Oh my god, they're lining up, and he's going to get that shot. Oh, and here comes another one. Oh! And will there be more running into the front? It looks like the answer is DDE forgot about them, but oh no, here it comes again, the juicy lineup. Oh no, the force fields again working against him, but those probes, those poor probes, they're still in range. Oh no, now
24 well, 26 probes were just taken out right there. 40 in total this game. DDE watched MLG, watched Slayers use those blue flame helmets. Those are pretty good, man.
Great.
I should use those more.
I'm gonna only make blue flame Hellions. How much do those cost? What, 100 minerals? I don't need minerals. And neither do you. Kills off all the probes. Kiwikaki responds by building another Nexus. Likely won't even be able to saturate this expansion, but at least he can catch up in probe production.
5 more Blue Flame Hellions now running across the map, passing the little swirly thing, whatever this is, in the center that has the Tron hexagons next to it. And they're going to find a medevac here out in the open field. One poor Hellion's not cool enough to get inside yet, so he's going to return back to the wounded Hellions here at the Xel'Naga Tower. Now, where's this drop? It's going to come into play. There is a lone SCV being chased here by the Stalker, and this Stalker might see it. Oh, maybe not.
Wow, I mean, DDE is literally flying it on a direct crash course towards it. No, it looks like he will be dropping the backdoor natural expansion. Now, Kiwikaki does have these Hellions trying to run up the front, and oh no, there's the drop at the natural
shot.
Such a simple 1-2 punch, but there they are. They are lining up, and he is barely going to be able to get out in time. Wants to do a little more damage, and he takes out some sentries. But with the Stalker count so low, he is in fine shape, and in the meantime, DDE just stockpiles more and more tanks.
He's going back for yet another drop. It has been scouted here by this pylon. They are unloading the 3 Immortals, and the sentry count is actually quite low here. And they're not going to even try to run back into the base. They're going to fall back and, meet a Stalker over here just hanging out, having a picnic.
Oh my!
They signed a peace treaty.
God, he's sleeping on the job. It is not nap time in Protoss.
He's awake.
No! He spots it, and the blasting has commenced in DDE. Oh no, that medevac is sleeping on the job, and it looks like he is gonna
keep it. No,
he gets it. But oh no, the main amazingly is vulnerable.
Oh, Sean.
Oh no! Oh, those probes. Oh my gosh, lining themselves up. And there's the force field again, the infamous force field placement that began the treacherous start to the game.
Hellion thinks he's actually in bounds, trying to take down that assimilator himself, but he will not be able to.
And in the meantime, the tank count gets ever higher and higher. 10 tanks out for the Terran player DDE. If we actually go to the army size tab, we see that the army supply is nearly twice that for the Terran player versus the Protoss player. I mean, just an incredible disparity at this point. Those Blue Flame Hellions really making their money's worth.
Yeah, a huge horde of Hellions there in the center. Looks like their focus is right now on joining up with the rest of the army. That is a ridiculous amount of tanks, an insane amount of Hellions. The observer spots them all. He's got to be a little bit nervous. And there are quite a few Immortals, though, but is it going to be enough?
The real worry for Kiwikaki is how he's going to keep this Hellion count low. If he can get to the tanks alone, he's going to be in fine shape. But there it looks like he catches some of the Hellions off guard. But with their speed, he can easily pull back. Force field is thrown down by Kiwikaki, splitting the movement of those Hellions. But it is 200 army versus a 122 army.
There's the siege. A huge amount of fire going down.
Wow.
Most of the Immortals have been taken out. All that remains is one with 0 shields, so of course did lose its hardened shield. The other one is full, and there's DDE trying to get into that money position that we were talking about earlier. Colossus is out. That's going to help a lot, but there is a huge amount of Vikings.
Oh,
and it's almost one-shot. Kiwikaki's army decimated. GG. We're going to Game 3, Sean.
DDE finally managing to put a win on the table in this tournament, and this is the first match of the entire tournament where it hasn't been a 2-0.
That's actually true.
It is suddenly match point. It is down to not just one best of 3 away from elimination, but one game away from elimination. And it looks like our final map is going to be Shakura's Plateau.
It is indeed. The Gnome has deemed it to be the 3rd map here at our desk. And there's Kiwikaki, who's going to be waiting for the next game, and DDE as well. He looks a little bit shaken, nervous perhaps, from the 3rd game here. Of course, both players are facing an elimination here. This is a lower bracket match. The winner will go on to advance and play against TT1, I believe.
Now, the real concern for these players is the fact that that map Tal'Darim Altar does not have the opportunity to do that same Hellion play. And so for Kiwikaki, even though he lost to that, he now knows that he has the chance to get a good, solid, normal game like they had on Xel'Naga Caverns. So, looks like both players